If you own a Tangem wallet, there is a very good chance you're only using about half of what it can actually do, because most people just set it up, send some crypto to it and stop there. But Tangem has been quietly adding features that make your crypto much safer and way easier to manage. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 hidden features that I think every Tangem owner should know about. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so what if I told you that you don't actually need to buy anything to start using Tangem? No card, no ring, no hardware at all. Just the app, and it's completely free. So you can basically open the Tangem app, tap Get Started, then choose Start with Mobile Wallet. The app generates your wallet, encrypts your keys, and asks you to create a 6-digit access code. And that's it, you've got a fully functional self-custody wallet in seconds. No card, no purchase, no waiting for shipping. Your private keys get generated and stored on your phone's secure hardware. The Secure Enclave on iPhone, Strongbox on Android, the same hardware that protects your mobile banking and biometrics. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the whole point of Tangem that it's a hardware wallet? And yes, and the mobile wallet is not a cold storage. Let me be very clear about that. It's a hot wallet and your keys are on an internet-connected device here. But if you're just getting started in crypto and you've never used a hardware wallet and you're looking for something secure, easy to use and reliable, you can just now download the app and start for free. Isn't it great? But super important, back up your mobile wallet immediately. The app will show you a finalize now prompt to write down your 12-word recovery phrase. If you skip that part and lose your phone, your funds are gone permanently. So don't learn this hard way, and when you're ready to get more serious, maybe you start storing bigger amounts, you can easily upgrade to a physical Tangem card right from the app. The upgrade migrates your keys from the phone to the card's chip and permanently erases them from the phone. So same addresses, same funds, just the hardware grade security now. By the way, if you do decide to go hardware, you can get 10% off on any Tangem device by using this QR code or the link in the description below. That way you're making your crypto setup much safer, and also that way you're supporting my efforts in making these crypto videos. Is the mobile wallet as secure as the card? No, but it supports the same tokens, the same blockchains. It's been audited by Cure53, and for getting started with self-custody without spending $70 upfront, it's a pretty solid option. One thing to know, if you already have a hardware wallet set up in the app, you might not be able to create a mobile wallet at the moment. This is specifically for new users or a fresh app install. Moving to the next point. What if I told you that your stablecoins could earn passive interest while staying in your hardware wallet, fully under your control? That's exactly what Yield Mode does. Here's how it works. If you have USDT, USDC or DAI in your Tangem wallet, you can toggle on Yield Mode for that token. Approve the transaction. Your stablecoins then automatically will get supplied to AAV, which is the world's largest decentralized lending platform with over $60 billion in deposits. Borrowers on Aave pay interest to borrow those assets, and that interest goes to you. Think of it like a high-yield savings account, except there's no bank in the middle. Your private keys stay on your hardware card the entire time. The yields are variable, they fluctuate based on supply and demand, but stablecoin rates on Aave typically range from 2 to 4% APY. And once you enable it, any new deposits of that token automatically get supplied to Aave too. You don't have to do anything, one toggle and your dollars start working. But before you go all in, there are a few risks you need to keep in mind. This is DeFi lending, not a guaranteed savings account. There's smart contract risk. Both Tangem's contracts and Aave's could theoretically have a bug, even though they've been audited. There's stablecoin depeg risk. Remember UST and Terra Luna. A stablecoin that was supposed to hold $1 and earn passive income went to basically zero overnight, billions gone. Nowadays, USDT and USDC are very different. They are backed by real reserves, but still, the risk exists. Personally, when crypto started dipping recently, I pulled my stablecoins out of Yield Mode for a couple of months just to be on the safe side. Maybe that's just me being paranoid, but I'd rather miss out on some interest than lose my whole funds. Okay, the next one has been one of the most requested Tangem features for years, because up until now, if you wanted to keep your savings separate from your spending crypto, or if you wanted to keep your long-term holdings separate from the stuff you're actively using, or even if you just wanted to pay someone without showing your entire balance, you basically had to buy a whole separate hardware wallet. There was no clean way to organize your money inside one device. And that's a problem, because the more wallets you manage, the more chances you have of making a mistake. And well, Tangem finally did something about this. Let me show you. You tap the three dots, select your wallet, hit Add Account. Then name it whatever you want. Then let's pick a color and pick an icon. And done. Each account gets its own addresses across all supported networks. So your savings account and your vacation fund and your investments, they are basically separate wallets living on the same card. Different addresses, different balances, different transaction histories, all on the same set of cards and seed phrase. And the best part, all of these accounts are backed up together under your existing backup. One seed phrase, one set of cards. You don't need to manage anything extra. So think about how you actually use money in real life. You don't walk into a coffee shop and pull out the wallet where you keep all your life savings, right? Same idea here. You separate things. One account for long-term holdings, one for everyday spending, and one for savings. It's just cleaner and more private way to manage your money. Now, you can create up to 20 accounts in total, which is honestly more than most people will ever need. But if you do go a bit overboard and things start getting cluttered, you can archive the ones you're not actively using. Archiving doesn't delete anything. Your balances, addresses, everything stays intact. It just hides the account from your main screen. Okay, now let's shift gears to security, because this next one is something most Tangem owners have never even looked at. Buried in your app settings, there are two toggles that control how your access code works. The first one is called Require Access Code. I'd recommend checking that this is turned on your device. What it does is require you to manually type your access code every time you sign a transaction. No relying on Face ID, no shortcuts. A bit less convenient, yeah, but this way, even if someone gets past your phone biometrics, they still can't move a single coin without knowing your code. Personally, I think this is one of those non-negotiable things. Always enter your access code manually and always confirm with a physical card tap. That's the whole point of having a hardware wallet, right? And the second setting, this one's even more interesting. It's called Recover Access Code, and it controls whether you can reset a forgotten access code using your backup card. This is also on by default for each card. Should you turn it off? So, if you disable it, you won't be able to restore your access code even if you have 2 or 3 backup cards. So, the only reason to turn it off is if you are worried that someone gets hands on your multiple cards and use them to reset your access code and will access your crypto. And that's a very specific scenario, I would say. For most people, I'd say keep it on, because with Recover enabled, your Tangem basically becomes a wallet that you can't lose access to, even if you forget your access code or even if you forget everything about your setup. You just grab 2 cards, reset your code, and you're back in. That's a safety net worth having. Now, if you thought Tangem was just for holding or sending crypto, this one's going to change how you see it. If you tap the 3 dots in the top corner of your app, you'll find a Wallet Connect option tucked in there. And this is where things get interesting. It lets you connect your Tangem to thousands of DeFi apps, Polymarket, Uniswap, 1inch, OpenSea, Aave, and hundreds more. So you're not just limited to sending and receiving, you can actually interact with the whole DeFi ecosystem directly from your hardware wallet. Here's how it works. You open the dApp in your phone's browser, scan a QR code from the Tangem app, confirm the connection, and you're in. Every transaction still requires a physical tap of your card, so your keys never leave the secure chip. And you still have full hardware security while doing things that normally only hot wallet users can do. But here's where it gets really interesting, because connecting to random DeFi apps sounds risky, right? What if you connect to a phishing site? What if a transaction does something you didn't expect? And Tangem actually thought about this. When you scan a QR code to connect, the app automatically checks that DApp against phishing databases and scans the smart contract for red flags, all in under 1 second. If something looks suspicious, it blocks it or warns you before you even connect. And then, before you sign anything, the app does a dry run of the transaction and shows you exactly what's going to happen.
what tokens leave your wallet, what comes in, what the fees are. No more blind signing. What you see in the preview is cryptographically locked, so nobody can tamper with it between the preview and the actual signing.
So yeah, you're using the full DeFi ecosystem, but with a way more protection than most hot wallet users have. Speaking of doing more with your Tangem app, this next one is something you'll probably use all the time once you know about it, because most people don't realize there is basically a full exchange built right into the Tangem app. Most people, and I used to do this too, when they want to swap one crypto for another, they send their tokens to Coinbase or Binance, make the swap, send them back, and that's 2 transactions, 2 sets of fees, plus an exchange withdrawal fee, and your crypto sitting on an exchange in between. So a lot of friction and a lot of room for mistakes.
With swaps, you skip all of that. You tap swap, pick what you want to trade, and the app compares rates across 7 different providers at the same time, like 1inch, OKX, ChangeNow, Changely, and a few others. It picks the best deal automatically. You can even do cross-chain swaps, so you could go from Ethereum USDT to Solana Sol or Bitcoin without touching a bridge yourself.
I personally do this from time to time, and honestly, the fees are nearly as bad as they used to be a couple of years ago. And it's just more convenient and in some way even safer, because when you send to an exchange and back, there is always a chance you can copy the wrong address, the exchange can freeze your funds for whatever reason, and with swaps you just skip all of that. But I need to warn you, sometimes a third-party provider might ask you for some additional details. That doesn't happen too often, and I haven't had any issues so far. And by the way, if you don't have a hardware wallet yet, but you want to try this out, you can scan this QR code or use the link in the description below to get the official Tangem Wallet app. And you can use mobile wallet to try this out. I've heard Tangem is giving bonuses for first-time users, so definitely worth checking out. The next one is for the more security-conscious people, and honestly, it's one of the most misunderstood things about Tangem. Most people think that when you buy a 3-card set, those 3 cards are all the backups you'll ever have. And with seedless wallet, that's true. Your private key only exists on those cards, and you can't add more after setup.
But if you set up your wallet with a seed phrase, you can actually import that same seed phrase into an unlimited number of new Tangem card sets. You just buy a fresh set, scan the blank card, select Import Seed Phrase, enter your 12 or 24 words, and the new set derives the same private keys, same addresses, same funds, new backup.
Why would you want this? First of all, geographic distribution. Keep 1 set at home, 1 at your office, 1 in a safety deposit box, and maybe 1 with a trusted family member. Think of each extra set as an insurance, about $55 to $69 per set. But here's the catch, this only works if you choose the seed phrase setup method, and if you went seedless, your cards are it. There is no way to create additional backups, and every extra set you create is another physical thing that could potentially be stolen. So please use different access codes for each set and store them thoughtfully. Now, there is one more thing I didn't cover in this video, and it might be the most important one, because it's about how you set up your Tangem wallet in the first place. It's very important that your private keys never touch the internet, and there is actually a way to set up your Tangem wallet in a totally offline way. So I made a full step-by-step tutorial on how to do that in this video right here. So click right here, and yeah, see you in the next one.